Hi, this is Kirk, the bariatric carnivore. Well, it is almost the end of the election time, and this very interesting announcement came out. And it has nothing to do with who's on the ballot, and it's everything to do with what is going to be on the menu for soldiers, senior citizens, and kids in school. The first panel recommendations came out and decided what the dietary guidelines are going to be, and they are much worse than I really suspected they were going to be. I thought they were just going to basically endorse what they did 4 years ago, but instead they're pushing for less meat, more soy, more processed seed oils in the diet. And you may be thinking, no, that doesn't affect me. I ignore them. And look, I'm with you. For the last 7 years, I've completely ignored what my government has told me I need to eat. And I'm now on a pretty much carnivore-only diet. But what does those guidelines affect me? Well, they do this way. Most kids that are in school today eat their lunch at school, which means every one of them has to follow those guidelines. The federal guidelines are what control the school lunches. And if you go take a look at a school lunch menu nowadays, you're going to see ultra-processed glop, no meat, skim milk. If you look at their breakfast menu, which is really pathetic, it's a Pop-Tart, muffin, more skim milk. The kids are not getting the protein that they need to grow up healthy. Same thing affects senior citizens. If you're in a nursing home and you are in any type of program like a Meals on Wheels type thing where you're getting subsidized federal meals, they have to follow the guidelines. And senior citizens need more protein. No ifs, ands, or buts about it. They need more meat because their body cannot absorb it as well. As a result, they need to increase their meat intake, but because of the one-size-fits-all government program, they're going to be stuck eating soy protein, which is going to leave them with more nutritional disadvantage. It's going to affect our soldiers and our readiness to defend our country, unfortunately. And we're going to have a bunch of soy boys as sailors, soldiers, and Marines, airmen, and people in the Space Corps, because they get fed the same glop. This is going to only do one thing: make America more unhealthy. When you look at when the dietary guidelines went into effect and when it started affecting school lunch programs and the things for all these other federal programs where nutrition is involved, take a look at when they went into effect and when the obesity epidemic kicked off. When we started having an epidemic of type 2 diabetes, they go hand in hand. So what's going to happen in the next 4 or 5 years as these guidelines go into effect? You're going to see more chronic disease, more type 2 diabetes, more obesity. It's not going to get better. It's going to get worse because, frankly, a large hunk of our population is being force-fed this stuff. There are things you can do about it. You don't have to do it. But the vast majority of Americans are going to go along with it because they have to. Because people will not fix lunches for their kids and all the other stuff that needs to be done. And it's pathetic. And it's just going to only get worse. So, just a reminder, elections have consequences. The team that is doing this year's guidelines were appointed by Biden-Harris. Now, frankly, I don't think it would be much different if Trump had been elected 4 years ago. Look at Trump's diet. He's a Big Mac guy. He doesn't care about nutrition. But there's a game changer, and that's Bobby Kennedy. And he's now come on the team. He's going to be kind of looking like he's going to be the health czar. And he's going to be making those decisions 4 years from now that are going to be affecting what's going to be happening down the road. Frankly, I'm voting for Trump because, and it's not so much because I like him, but I like Kennedy, and I think he could do a great job And it's not going to change everything. Heck, half the country hates Trump's guts, and anything that he says, they're going to ignore just because it's coming from the Trump administration. I get it, but it's going to start changing the conversation. And there's a bunch of people that are starting to wake up and ask a lot of questions, especially after the last few years of COVID. So here's hoping that some positive changes might happen. Please take the time to vote. It is your birthright. A lot of people died to give you that protection and your freedom to make your voice heard. I hope you do so. And I'll start making a couple of messages each week again as my schedule finally gets back to normal. And hopefully the country will get back to normal. We'll talk to you again soon.